Hello guys, Charles here and welcome back to my channel. So I realised recently we've been doing quite a lot of chatty videos, so today I want to get back to something we used to do an awful lot on this channel, which is just look at some nice voicings. So without further ado, we're going to look through the voicings, go through some rotations, then I'll explain what's going on here and give you some suggestions for how you might want to use this stuff. So the main voicing we're going to be using sounds like this. Really pretty voicing. Now you can call this what you want. You can think of it as a major chord with an additional flat 6 or sharp 5 if you want to think of it that way. But we've got the 5 and the flat 6. So I'd think of this as a major 7 flat 6 personally, or flat 13. The next rotation of that is up here. Now because this is a 5-note chord, a major 7 with a flat 13, but we're using a 4-note voicing, each rotation obviously we're not going to be playing every single note, there's going to be one note missing. So there's an additional note in this new voicing here, which is the G. Next rotation, probably the trickiest one here. So this one's got the 5th, the major 7, the root, and the sharp 5 or flat 13 on the top. And then the final voicing would be up here, which is the sharp 5 or flat 6, the root, the major 3rd, and the major 7. And then if we were to rotate it one more time, we'd just end up back to a major 7. I'll put that down the octave here. Starting from this bottom voicing, let's just work our way through all the rotations. So all of these would be in the key of A flat. This is A flat major 7, flat 13, or A flat major 7 plus sharp 5, however you want to name it. All those nice voicings. Now you can think of this as being drawn from the Bebop scale, if you like, or the 6th diminished scale, because what we've got, if we had A flat major, which is what we're doing here, if we played that as a Bebop scale, at that point there, we've got the flat 6 and the 5, or the sharp 5 and the 5. So if you like, you can think of it as coming from that. Where I kind of got the concept from for these voicings was listening to one of my definitely top 5 favourite musicians, Aydin Esen. And Aydin talks about how, I think he literally words it, we need to grow up about thinking about harmony, something along those lines. We can very easily lock ourselves in a box and say, oh, we can't do this and we can't do that. And I think this sort of voicing was the sort of voicing where once upon a time I would have just thought, oh, it just sounds a bit too clashy. There's just too much going on there. And I possibly wouldn't have even liked it once upon a time, but now I just think that's so beautiful. So we can use that anywhere where there's a major 7 chord. So a literal use for it would be in a harmonic major context. But there aren't actually very many harmonic major contexts. So a better approach to think about this is just anywhere you're going to use a major 7 chord. So the 1 of a major scale, you can add this voicing in. And certain contexts it's going to work better than others, of course, and certain genres you probably don't want to be doing this if you're in a I don't know, a swing band or something like that, something a bit more old-fashioned. So we could have in All the Things You Are we were looking at the other day, we could have, and then here I can put that voicing in. And because there's so many notes, it resolves nicely to D flat in this instance. So it resolves nicely to the major 4. Like that. Something on those lines there. So I used it twice. I used it once on the A flat major, and then I used it to finish on the C major 7 there. So it might not be to everyone's tastes this, but it's a great sound. And often with notes like the sharp 5, again, I keep changing what I'm calling this chord today, because I always think of this as a major 7 sharp 5, this sort of sound, which I love. I think it's a really lovely sound. So in the past I would have never added the sharp 5 and the 5 in the same chord, regardless of if I was thinking of it as a flat 13 or not. But now I just think it's such a pretty sound. Here's another voicing. These other voicings are much harder to take through the rotations, but give it a go. And one last voicing is if you were in the A shape, let's say we were playing, well, let's stick to A flat. If we were on A flat on the 11th fret here on the A string, we can put the sharp 5 on the D string, so E, G, C, E flat. Have that sort of voicing. Again, there are lovely rotations for that, but they're just impractical. They're too difficult to actually perform, for me anyway. So there you have it. There's 6 voicings for the major 7 flat 13. Hopefully you can find some uses for that. These sort of sounds, I find it's best just to experiment with these. I asked Kevin Glasgow, who's a master bass player, he's a master with this modern harmony stuff. I asked him kind of what his method or his approach was, and his response was just basically, if I like the sound of it, I'll use it. And that was good enough for me. So over the last couple of years, I've really been taking that approach where if I like the sound of a chord, I'll shove it in. And, you know, every now and then someone might tell you off, you know, the piano player might say, can you not use that voicing or whatever. It's never happened to me yet, but I can imagine that would happen in the future. And so you know then that that's not a suitable context to use those sounds in. So if you found those useful, please do give us a like, subscribe, ding that notification bell, and share with any of your friends who could do with 6 new voicings this week. And as always, I hope you're all doing very well, getting plenty of practice in, and I very much look forward to seeing you in the next one. Cheers!
Roll up, let me embed a story you'll never forget. A drip, drip, but drowning in debt now. You can't buy your way out, and I heard you find it difficult to cope well. Here by this bottle full of hope and limited supply, short-lived desire. You'll be needing some mirrors for the smoke guy. What a steal, let's make a deal. I'll keep you well if you keep to healing. What a slogan, so well spoken. I'll